I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. Early on, I got a real interest in music. Music was everything in the 60s. Getting ready to go into college, I had a really deep experience with the Lord and always found a way to be able to go serve the Lord with my music. Some friends of mine had already started Calvary Chapel, Las Vegas. One of the guys there was our founding pastor here at Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale, Bob Coy, and we both needed a roommate, and so we moved in together. Just a year later, Bob and Diane received the call from the Lord really to come out and start Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale. I came to visit. They wanted to start doing some outreaches. Back in '85, spring break was still huge in Fort Lauderdale. They rented a little community meeting room in a Howard Johnson's down on A1A and called it the Recovery Room. And we would offer all the drunk kids free sandwiches. In walks a guy, and he has actually got a styrofoam cooler with the neck cut out on his head. He's standing right in front of us as we're singing, "Praise the Lord, praise the Lord." And we've got Mr. Styrofoam Head right here in front of us. So after Bob and Diane moved out here, my sister and brother-in-law were helping start a church in Southern California. So I was traveling down to lead worship on the weekends.
My friend Bobby met Rod and just liked him right away. When we met each other finally, it's like, oh, it was not love at first sight, that was for sure.
I said, hey, I'll call you.
That's really how I got to learn who he is, falling in love with him over the phone. Eventually he moved there, and then he asked me to marry him.
It was really a fantastic time in our lives. We were as happy as could be. In 1995, I got a call from my brother-in-law, Clay Hecox, who had come to be the worship leader here at Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale. And he said, the church has more than tripled in size. I need help. Would you finally consider coming?
Like, oh no, that's not for us. We were working, going to school. He was working. He was doing worship at the church that we were in. We loved visiting, but there was never a desire to be here. And so when we were asked, we were like, oh no, I don't think so, but we will pray about it.
There was really four big things, four big reasons where we thought, oh, no, we can't go. And to make a very long story shorter, all four of those things God resolved within 2 weeks' time. At that point, Don and I looked at each other and said, uh-oh, we're going to Fort Lauderdale. If I was really honest, I would have to say that there was this lack of the fulfillment of a call in my life. And so when we got that call from Fort Lauderdale and God answered all four of those big things that we didn't think he would be answering, we realized for the first time together as a couple, God's calling in our life. So when we came in 1995, we knew that the church had just experienced exponential growth. That didn't stop. That kept happening and kept happening.
It was just crazy. It was like, you know, no matter what we did, people were coming, you know, and it just felt like God was just on the move and we were just trying to keep up. We had a big heart for outreach. We would do the stadium services. That was an amazing thing when we first got here. And we would just see people come from all walks of life, almost like a revival in some ways.
People in business suits to bikers, people in flip-flops and shorts just come out of the ocean. We absolutely loved it because there was a freedom and an excitement for what God was going to do next.
I love this picture of you. I don't know, it just makes me remember how, you know, you leading
how
worship.
Good looking I was.
You were very good looking.
You like the cowboy boots.
I do, yeah.
The beautiful thing that was happening was that people were confident that they were going to hear the gospel if they brought their friends. Mm-hmm. Now, the stage was a lot lower in those days, a much more intimate environment, mm-hmm. where we really felt like we were part of those people's experience when they surrendered their heart to the Lord. I love that continues at our church today.
Yeah.
That no matter who gives the invitation, if Doug gives the invitation or any one of our guest teachers, the Spirit of the Lord has been upon us for all these years. Being in ministry isn't always getting up to the sound of worship music and having God speak a special song in your ear every day. Don and I went through some very hard times, and we wanted to run. When there were times in my life where I felt like I had failed miserably, God spoke into my life and says, your giftings and your calling remain the same. There were times in this ministry that we all went through some really deep, dark, painful times. It came to light that our founding pastor had fallen. I was thrust into the presidency for our church. I was president for 5 weeks, and it was 5 excruciating weeks. It was painful every step of the way. God had me at that time, for that season, for that reason. We thought, this is the end of this ministry. This is over. It's going to crash and burn. And it didn't. God came through and gave us the leaders that we have now, gave us the church that we have now. I really attribute that to the fact that Jesus called us deeply, we served him deeply, and we will continue to. Watching a person change from non-belief to belief, from being separated from God to being united with God. Watching that moment is the miracle moment for me. Our prayer is, God, please do it again. Bring more people to you. Bring more people to you in a way, Lord, where we feel like we're doing what the Bible calls the Great Commission. That's what I think of when I hear God do it again.
It's been an amazing adventure. He's got us on mountains, he's got us in valleys, and everywhere along the way, he meets us. And I'm so thankful to be part, even in the challenges, even in the difficult times. And so it's been really a beautiful thing. And, you know, it's not over yet. Journey's not over yet. It's still an adventure. And we're looking forward to seeing what he does and how he does it. And we just want to be part.